Welcome to our discussion on security protocols. These are an integral part of the digital world, as they play a pivotal role in maintaining the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of data. From emails to financial transactions, virtually every online activity relies on these protocols to safeguard the information being exchanged. So what are security protocols exactly? They're a set of rules that dictate how data is transmitted and received over a network. They ensure that the data you send and receive remains confidential, meaning it's kept private from prying eyes. They maintain data integrity, ensuring that the information remains accurate and consistent during its entire journey. And they guarantee data availability, ensuring that authorized users always have access to the data they need. Now that we have a basic understanding of what security protocols are, let's delve into some common ones. In our digital world, several security protocols are commonly used. These act as our guardians, ensuring our data's confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Let's take a brief journey through some of these protocols. Firstly, we have Transport Layer Security, TLS, and its predecessor, Secure Sockets Layer, SSL. These protocols are crucial in securing web communication. They work by encrypting data transmission over the internet, a vital process that protects against eavesdropping and tampering. Next on our list is Internet Protocol Security, or IPsec. This is a significant player in securing IP-based communication networks. It provides authentication, integrity, and confidentiality for IP packets, making it particularly useful in virtual private network, VPN implementations. Then we have Secure Shell, better known as SSH. This protocol is indispensable for secure remote access and file transfer. It encrypts communication between network devices, thereby preventing unauthorized access and data interception. Moving on, we encounter wireless security protocols, specifically WPA and WPA2. These protocols are essential for securing wireless networks. They provide robust encryption and authentication mechanisms to protect against unauthorized access and network attacks. Now let's talk about encryption. It plays a critical role in all these security protocols. Through various encryption algorithms and key management techniques, it ensures data confidentiality and privacy. Authentication mechanisms are another important aspect of security protocols. They verify the identity of users and devices, using methods such as passwords, digital certificates, and multi-factor authentication. Next, we have integrity checks and data verification mechanisms. These tools protect data integrity and detect unauthorized modifications. They use cryptographic hashes and digital signatures to achieve this. Lastly, availability is key in security protocols. They work to mitigate denial of service, DOS attacks, and ensure uninterrupted access to resources. And there you have it, a brief overview of the common security protocols. They form the backbone of our digital world, protecting our data from various threats. Now, we will take a closer look at each of these protocols. Starting with TLS and SSL, these are crucial for securing web communication. These two protocols are the unsung heroes of internet security, working behind the scenes to ensure that your data is safe as it travels across the web. Transport Layer Security, or TLS, and its predecessor, Secure Sockets Layer, or SSL, have one primary job: to encrypt data transmission over the internet. This encryption ensures that any information sent between your computer and the server it's communicating with is protected against eavesdropping and tampering. So how does this work? Well, imagine sending a letter via regular mail. Without a seal, anyone could open your letter, read its contents, or even change them. But if you put a seal on it, only the intended recipient can open it without breaking the seal. That's essentially what TLS and SSL do for your data. They put a digital seal on it. When your computer connects to a secure server, they exchange cryptographic keys. These keys are then used to encrypt and decrypt the data that's sent between them. This means that even if someone were to intercept the data, they wouldn't be able to understand it without the correct key. This is called end-to-end encryption, and it's a fundamental part of keeping online communications secure. But TLS and SSL do more than just encrypt data. They also authenticate the server you're connecting to, ensuring that you're communicating with the server you think you're communicating with and not an imposter. This is done using digital certificates, issued and verified by trusted third parties known as certificate authorities. So, whether you're sending an email, making an online purchase, or logging into a website, TLS and SSL are there, quietly ensuring that your data gets where it's going safely and securely, and that you're talking to who you think you're talking to. Next, we will explore IPsec, another vital security protocol. Because remember, in the world of digital communication, ensuring the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of your data is paramount. IPsec is essential for securing IP-based communication networks. This is a statement that rings true for all IT professionals, as it's the backbone of secure internet communication. Now let's dive into the details. IPsec, or Internet Protocol Security, is a suite of protocols that adds a protective layer to data as it travels across IP networks. It's like a knight in shining armor, defending your information from the many threats that lurk in the digital realm. One of the primary roles of IPsec is to provide authentication. It's like a bouncer at a high-end club, checking IDs and ensuring that only the right people get in. In the context of an IP network, this means verifying that the data packets are coming from a trusted source. This is achieved through the use of cryptographic keys, which are like digital signatures. These keys confirm the identity of the sender and ensure that the data hasn't been tampered with en route. But IPsec doesn't stop at authentication. It also provides integrity for IP packets. It ensures that the data you send is the data that's received without any alterations. It's like a seal on a letter, showing that the message hasn't been tampered with during its journey. And the cherry on top? IPsec provides confidentiality. It encrypts the data, turning it into a complex code that only the intended recipient can decipher. This is particularly important in virtual private network, or VPN, implementations where sensitive data often needs to be transmitted over public networks. So in essence, IPsec is like a personal bodyguard for your data as it travels the wilds of the internet. It verifies the identity of the sender, ensures the integrity of the data, and keeps the information confidential through encryption. And that's the magic of IPsec. It's not just about keeping the bad guys out, but also ensuring that the good guys can communicate safely and securely. Having learned about IPsec, we will now move on to SSH. SSH is a security protocol used for secure remote access and file transfer. Let's dive deeper into the world of secure shell, commonly known as SSH. If you're thinking of a shell as a protective layer, you're on the right track. SSH is a protocol that provides a secure channel in an otherwise insecure network environment. It's like a secret tunnel for data, hidden among the hustle and bustle of internet traffic. SSH is widely used by network administrators for managing systems and applications remotely, allowing them to log into another computer over a network, execute commands, and move files from one machine to another. Its main function is to ensure secure encrypted communications between two untrusted hosts over an insecure network. But how does SSH achieve this level of security? Well, it uses public key cryptography to authenticate the remote computer and allow the remote computer to authenticate the user if necessary. It's a two-way street. Once both sides have been authenticated, SSH creates a new secure session for the remote user. Now let's talk about data encryption. Encryption is the process of encoding information so only authorized parties can access it. SSH employs symmetric encryption, public key encryption, and hash functions to protect data. Symmetric encryption is used for encrypting the bulk of the data, while public key encryption is used for the secure exchange of encryption keys. Hash functions, on the other hand, are used for data integrity. But why is SSH so significant? In an era where cyber threats are ever present, SSH offers a secure line of communication over unsecured networks, protecting your data from potential eavesdroppers. It's like having a private conversation in a crowded room where you know your words are only reaching the intended ears. And there you have it, Secure Shell, or SSH, a protocol designed to provide secure remote access and safe file transfer, creating a safe passage for your data in the wild world of the internet. Next up is an important protocol for securing wireless networks, WPA/WPA2. Wireless networks require their own unique security, and that's where WPA and WPA2 come in. Wireless Protected Access, or WPA, and its successor, WPA2, are security protocols specifically designed to secure wireless networks. If you've ever connected to a Wi-Fi network, you've likely encountered these protocols, even if you weren't aware of it. WPA and WPA2 are the gatekeepers of your wireless network. When you enter a password to connect to a Wi-Fi network, that's WPA or WPA2 at work, ensuring that only authorized users gain access. They serve as the first line of defense against unauthorized access, effectively keeping out any unwanted guests from your digital home. But their role doesn't end there. Once you're connected, these protocols continue to protect your data as it travels through the airwaves. They use powerful encryption mechanisms to scramble your data into unreadable gibberish that can only be deciphered by the intended recipient. This means, even if someone manages to intercept your data, they won't be able to make sense of it without the correct decryption key. Now you might be wondering, what's the difference between WPA and WPA2? Well, simply put, WPA2 is the newer and more secure of the two. While WPA was a great step forward in wireless security, it had its vulnerabilities. WPA2 was developed to address these weaknesses and provides even stronger encryption and authentication mechanisms. It's important to note, however, that no security protocol is completely infallible. As technology evolves, so too do the tactics of cybercriminals. That's why it's crucial to keep your devices and networks updated with the latest security measures. In conclusion, WPA and WPA2 play a vital role in securing wireless networks. They provide robust protection against unauthorized access and network attacks, ensuring your data remains confidential and intact as it zips through the air. Now that we have covered some common security protocols, let's delve into some key components of these protocols. Security protocols have several key components, including encryption, authentication mechanisms, integrity checks, and data verification mechanisms. Let's take a closer look at each of these. First off, we have encryption. This is an essential part of any security protocol. It's like the secret language that only your computer and the server it's talking to can understand. By transforming data into a code, encryption renders it unreadable to anyone who doesn't have the decryption key. This ensures that even if data is intercepted during transmission, it remains confidential and private. Next, we have the authentication mechanisms. These are the bouncers of the digital world, checking IDs at the door to make sure only authorized users and devices get access. Passwords, digital certificates, and multi-factor authentication are all examples of these mechanisms. They verify the identity of users and devices, providing an additional layer of security. Now, onto integrity checks and data verification mechanisms. These are the detectives of the digital world, always on the lookout for any changes that shouldn't be there. Cryptographic hashes and digital signatures are commonly used to protect data integrity. They create a unique fingerprint of the data, allowing any unauthorized modifications to be detected. Finally, we have the concept of availability, which is often overlooked but is just as crucial. Security protocols not only need to protect data, but also ensure that it's always accessible when needed. They do this by mitigating threats like denial of service attacks, which can interrupt access to resources. Each of these components plays a vital role in the overall functioning of a security protocol. They work together to ensure the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of data, providing a robust and secure framework for digital communications and information systems. Finally, let's discuss the importance of compliance and regulatory requirements in the selection and implementation of security protocols. Adhering to industry standards and regulatory requirements is crucial when implementing security protocols. Now, why is this so important, you ask? Well, it's because these standards and regulations like PCI DSS for payment card data, HIPAA for healthcare information, or GDPR for personal data in the EU, they all serve as guidelines. They help in making sure our digital communications and information systems are up to the mark when it comes to security. They influence the selection and implementation of security protocols by setting specific requirements. For instance, PCI DSS requires secure network and systems, which may mean implementing protocols like TLS or IPsec. HiPi necessitates secure access controls, making SSH a good fit. GDPR demands data integrity and confidentiality, putting encryption protocols in the spotlight. In essence, these standards and regulations push us towards best practices, ensuring we're not just ticking off boxes, but genuinely securing our systems. That wraps up our discussion on security protocols. So, what have we learned today? We've delved deep into the world of security protocols, unmasking their pivotal role in safeguarding our digital communications and information systems. We've journeyed through common security protocols such as TLS, SSL, IPsec, SSH, and WPA/WPA2, each with its unique strengths in protecting our data and systems. We've recognized the indispensable role of encryption in securing our data and the importance of robust authentication mechanisms in verifying identity. We've also explored how cryptographic hashes and digital signatures protect data integrity and detect unauthorized modifications. We've underscored the significance of availability and the measures security protocols take to mitigate denial-of-service attacks. And let's not forget the critical importance of adhering to industry standards and regulatory requirements. All in all, understanding these different security protocols is a necessity, not a luxury, in maintaining cybersecurity. Thank you for joining us today. And remember, understanding security protocols is a crucial part of maintaining cybersecurity.